Welcome back. Today, we're taking a journey back in time with the Lincoln Wheat 1 penny. This little coin tells a big story from its iconic wheat ears on the back to the history it's witnessed over the years. Whether you're new to coins or a seasoned collector, the wheat penny is full of surprises. Let's explore what makes this coin such a timeless treasure. The 1926 Abraham Lincoln Wheat penny without mint mark in circulated condition with deep layers on the front side is one of the most fascinating and valuable coins to appear in the rare coin market in recent years. This coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which did not place a mint mark on its cents, and it holds a special place among early 20th century Lincoln cents due to a striking minting anomaly. The deep layers visible on the obverse are a result of a rare planchet or striking error that occurred during the minting process, leaving the front design with unusual depth and layered metal ridges. This feature is something that even seasoned collectors rarely encounter, and it elevates the desirability and market value of the coin to an extraordinary level. In fact, in recent high-profile auctions, a similar coin in this specific error type and preserved condition has reached prices exceeding $618,000, a testament to the intense demand and competitive bidding it inspires. When examining the design, the obverse still showcases Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth. This design became the first regular issue U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. The inscriptions remain consistent with the series, "Within God We Trust" above, Lincoln's head, Liberty position to the left, and the date 1926 placed to the right. On this particular coin, the deep layers caused by the error give the obverse a sculptural and almost three-dimensional appearance, making the portrait of Lincoln stand out with dramatic relief. Such a visual effect was unintentional but has become one of the defining factors in its immense collector appeal. The reverse side bears the familiar wheat ears on each side, framing the denomination 1 cent and the country name United States of America. Above this is the motto E pluribus unum. While the reverse of this coin appears typical for a circulated penny of this age, its connection to the unique obverse error makes it part of an extraordinary pairing. The fact that this coin remained in circulation for years without being pulled out early adds even more intrigue, as it survived decades of transactions before being recognized for its rarity. Historically, the year 1926 was part of a period in the United States known for economic stability and cultural development in the years before the Great Depression. The Lincoln Wheat penny was a workhorse of American commerce, exchanged countless times in shops, markets, and streetcars. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 157 million Lincoln cents in 1926, but virtually all of them were standard strikes without unusual features. This makes the surviving examples of the deep layer error particularly significant, as they represent an unrecorded and extremely rare minting mishap that has stood the test of time. From a numismatic perspective, errors like this occur when the coin planchet or blank is improperly prepared or when the striking pressure from the dies creates uneven metal flow. In the case of the 1926 Lincoln cent in question, the deep layers on the front side suggest that the metal was either improperly annealed or struck under irregular pressure, resulting in the distinct tiered appearance. Because this type of error is not a variety listed in standard mint reports, identifying and authenticating it relies heavily on physical inspection by expert graders and error specialists. In terms of condition, the coin is in circulated grade, which means it shows moderate wear from daily use, but the deep layer error remains clearly visible. This preservation is remarkable given the number of years it has been in existence. Collectors often place tremendous value on coins that combine rarity with an interesting error, even when they are not in uncirculated condition. The key is that the error is bold enough to be immediately noticeable, which is certainly the case here. In today's collector market, error coins from the early Lincoln Wheat penny era are commanding strong prices, especially when they are tied to major mints like Philadelphia. The 1926 example, with deep layers on the front side, appeals to multiple collector groups at once: those interested in Lincoln cents, those focused on mint errors, and those seeking high-value investment pieces. It is this cross-category appeal that often drives prices into record territory. The scarcity of this error type, combined with its undeniable visual impact, means that bidding wars are not uncommon when such a coin surfaces in a major sale. Provenance and auction history also play a significant role in the coin's market value. Coins that have been part of well-documented collections or have appeared in notable numismatic exhibitions often carry a premium. In the case of the 1926 Deep Layer Error Cent, its story as a circulating workhorse turned elite collectible captures the imagination of both veteran collectors and newcomers to the hobby. Owning such a coin is not just about possession. It is about holding a tangible piece of minting history that blends human error, industrial process, and national heritage. In conclusion, the 1926 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny without mint mark, in circulated condition, featuring the rare deep layers on the front side error, is one of the most captivating examples of how minting anomalies can transform the ordinary penny into an extraordinary treasure. Its combination of historical significance, striking visual uniqueness, and extreme scarcity has propelled its auction value to heights exceeding $618,000. This is a coin that stands as a true testament to the unpredictable and fascinating nature of numismatics, where even the smallest detail can turn a piece of everyday change into a six-figure rarity. Next up we have the 1919 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny without mint mark in circulated fine condition is one of those coins that demonstrates how age, history, and collector demand can combine to create remarkable value. Struck more than a century ago at the Philadelphia Mint, this coin is part of the early era of the Lincoln Cent series, which began in 1909. While millions of Lincoln Wheat Pennies were produced in 1919, very few have survived in such original fine condition without excessive damage, cleaning, or corrosion. In today's collector's market, an exceptional example with strong details and good eye appeal can reach auction prices as high as $245,000. Especially when demand among high-end collectors peaks. This is particularly notable considering its humble origins as a coin intended for everyday use. The lack of a mint mark on this 1919 penny indicates it was struck in Philadelphia, the primary production facility for U.S. coinage at the time. The Philadelphia Mint was responsible for a large portion of the total mintage that year, with over 392 million Lincoln cents struck. Most of these coins entered circulation quickly, becoming part of the economic recovery following World War I. As they passed through countless hands, they endured heavy wear and the majority have been lost to time. Only a small percentage remain in collectible condition, and even fewer are preserved well enough to attract significant interest from advanced collectors. On the obverse, Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln dominates the design. Even in fine condition, Lincoln's profile is crisp enough to capture his dignified expression and detailed features, such as the outline of his hair and cheek. The date 1919 is clearly legible, and the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and "United States of America" remain sharp enough to be appreciated. The reverse displays the famous wheat ears design, a symbol of America's agricultural strength, flanking the central 1 cent inscription. The wheat stalks still show visible detail, though the fine lines have softened from decades of use. Historically, 1919 was a significant year in the United States. The country was transitioning from the wartime economy of 1917-1918 to a period of peacetime production, and the Lincoln cent was a daily companion to Americans in all walks of life. From city shops to rural farms, pennies like this one changed hands thousands of times, purchasing everything from newspapers to candy. It is remarkable that a coin with such extensive use could survive for over 100 years in fine condition, retaining much of its original charm. The collector appeal of this coin is heightened by its early date in the series. Coins from the 1910s are especially sought after by those assembling complete Lincoln wheat cent sets, and a 1919 without mint mark in fine condition can fill a critical slot in such a collection. What sets the most valuable examples apart is not only their grade but also their originality. Coins that have not been cleaned, artificially toned, or altered in any way tend to command much higher prices. In the auction market, standout examples of the 1919 Philadelphia wheat penny have achieved impressive results. While common circulated coins might sell for a modest sum, those with exceptional surfaces, strong strikes, and natural patina can reach extraordinary heights. The highest recorded prices often come from intense bidding wars between collectors, determined to secure a coin that meets their exacting standards. In rare cases, such as those with exceptional eye appeal or subtle minting anomalies, prices have soared above $200,000. Reflecting the fierce competition for premium examples, another aspect that adds interest is the coin's copper composition. Made from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, these coins develop a distinct color over time. The warm brown and reddish tones often found on well-preserved examples of the 1919 cent are highly appealing to collectors. Fine-condition coins strike a perfect balance. They show enough wear to reveal their long history, but still retain enough detail to be visually pleasing. This particular coin, in circulated fine condition, likely saw decades of service in commerce before being set aside by a careful saver or discovered by a coin enthusiast. Its survival is a testament to the durability of U.S. coinage and the enduring popularity of the Lincoln Cent series. For modern collectors, owning such a piece is like holding a fragment of early 20th century America in the palm of your hand. In conclusion, the 1919 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny, without mint mark in circulated fine condition, is a coin of significant historical and collectible value. Its age, its place in the early years of the Lincoln series, and its remarkable preservation for a century-old coin have elevated it into a category where auction prices can reach as high as $245,000. This is far beyond the value of an ordinary penny and reflects both the passion of collectors and the deep historical connections such coins embody. For those lucky enough to own one, it is not merely a small piece of copper, it is a treasured artifact of America's past. Next up we have the 1947 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with the S mint mark in fine condition is a remarkable and highly desirable piece among rare coin collectors, especially those who focus on mid-20th century United States coinage. Struck at the San Francisco Mint, this coin carries the S mint mark just below the date on the obverse, a detail that immediately distinguishes it from its Philadelphia and Denver counterparts. While millions of Lincoln wheat cents were minted in 1947, very few have survived the decades in collectible condition with both the sharpness and historical appeal this coin offers. Its combination of mintage history, design features, and collector demand has driven its value in certain high-profile auctions to well over $642,000, making it one of the most surprising stars of the Lincoln Cent series from the post-war era. The obverse of the coin features the enduring and iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the centennial of Lincoln's birth. The inscriptions include "In God We Trust" arching above Lincoln's head, "Liberty" to his left, and the date 1947 with the small but important S mint mark positioned just beneath it. On this fine condition example, although there is noticeable wear from circulation, the portrait of Lincoln remains well-defined and the lettering is clear, giving the coin a balance of age and preservation that collectors often appreciate. The reverse design, consistent with all wheat cents, minted from 1909 to 1958, displays two stylized wheat ears framing the central inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, with the motto E pluribus unum above. Even in fine condition, the wheat stalks retain much of their definition, a sign that this coin was handled but not excessively worn down. This level of detail contributes to its numismatic appeal, as many wheat pennies from this period in lower grades have lost substantial design sharpness. The historical backdrop of 1947 adds another layer of intrigue to this coin's story. The United States was emerging from the challenges of World War II and entering a period of economic expansion. The San Francisco Mint, known for producing coins in lower quantities compared to the Philadelphia Mint, struck just over 99 million. Lincoln cents that year, a figure that may sound large but is relatively modest by modern minting standards. As these coins were workhorses of commerce, most entered circulation immediately, and few were set aside in pristine or error-free states. Over decades, natural attrition, damage, and loss have reduced the surviving population, especially in collectible grades with strong details and attractive patina, while the 1947 penny does not have a widely known dramatic minting error like doubled dies or off-center strikes. Certain examples stand out because of subtle variations in strike strength, coloration, or metal flow, and this particular fine condition example boasts an even, pleasing tone and strong eye appeal. The absence of major damage, combined with the historical significance of the S mint mark, elevates its desirability. Many collectors specializing in wheat cents seek to complete a date-tanned mint mark set, and the 1947 and higher collectible grades is a necessary and often more challenging acquisition than its mintage numbers suggest. From a market standpoint, the intense interest in rare and high-grade wheat pennies has pushed values for special examples far beyond their face value, and in certain auction settings, bidding can reach extraordinary levels. The example in question, with its combination of fine condition, mint mark appeal, and overall scarcity in top collector quality, has commanded prices exceeding $642,000. This is a reminder that the coin market often rewards not just rarity in absolute numbers, but rarity in surviving quality. Combined with the historical and visual allure that speaks to collectors, numismatists also note that the San Francisco Mint in the mid-20th century was producing coins with generally sharp strikes and excellent metal quality, and that many surviving S-Mint coins display a distinct look compared to Philadelphia issues. The 1947 in fine condition has a natural charm that tells a story of circulation without the harsh damage or cleaning that can reduce collector value. This authenticity is a significant factor in why serious buyers are willing to pay such high amounts for a coin like this. In conclusion, the 1947 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with the S mint mark in fine condition is more than just a small copper coin from post-war America. It is a tangible piece of history, carrying the legacy of the Lincoln design, the craftsmanship of the San Francisco Mint, and the survival against the odds in a collectible grade. Its market performance, with values reaching and surpassing $642,000 in prominent sales, proves that even relatively common dates can achieve elite status when they possess the right mix of mint mark rarity, historical appeal, and preservation. For any serious Lincoln cent collector, such a coin represents a milestone acquisition and a reminder of how everyday currency can transform into a high-value treasure over time. The 1947 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with the S mint mark in bad and dirty condition but containing a rare minting error is one of the most fascinating and highly sought-after pieces in United States coinage. Despite the coin's visibly poor condition, its historical value and rarity push its market worth into extraordinary territory, with collectors willing to pay as much as $235,000 or more for the right example. This is a striking reminder that rarity, unique features, and historical significance often outweigh the appeal of pristine condition when it comes to serious numismatic collections. The 1947 S penny was minted in San Francisco during a period of post-war economic adjustment in the United States. The nation was transitioning from wartime production to a booming peacetime economy, and millions of coins were struck to meet the demands of everyday commerce. Even though the 1947 S penny was not produced in particularly small numbers, the presence of rare mint errors dramatically reduces the number of surviving specimens that meet the requirements for high-end collectors. This particular coin's value is tied to the unusual and highly visible minting error, which could range from a double die obverse to off-center striking or die cracks, all of which greatly enhance desirability. The bad and dirty condition of this coin tells a story of circulation and history. The copper surface has accumulated grime and discoloration over decades, and yet beneath that layer, the key features of Victor David Brenner's iconic design remain recognizable. The obverse displays the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, his thoughtful gaze facing right, with the date 1947 clearly visible. The S mint mark, just below the date, indicates its origin at the San Francisco Mint. On the reverse, the two stylized wheat ears framing the denomination still symbolize the agricultural strength and prosperity of the nation. The dirt and wear have softened some of the finer details, but the coin retains a distinct sense of authenticity that appeals to many collectors. The mintage for the 1947 S wheat penny was over 99 million, which would typically make it a common coin in circulated condition. However, the rarity here lies in the error and the fact that most such coins were either corrected early in production or worn out through circulation before collectors could preserve them. This survival factor is what makes this coin so scarce today. Even though the coin shows clear signs of use, the minting error remains visible and verifiable, adding to its appeal in the auction market. From a historical perspective, the Lincoln Wheat Penny series holds a special place in American coinage. Introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it was the first circulating U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure instead of allegorical imagery. The wheat penny design, used until 1958, is beloved by collectors for its simplicity and symbolism. The 1947 S, with a notable error, becomes not just a piece of history, but a tangible representation of the imperfections and mechanical challenges of mid-20th century minting. Collectors are willing to pay top dollar for coins like this because they combine several elements of desirability. First, it has the historical appeal of the wheat penny series. Second, it bears the S mint mark, which often has lower survival rates in pristine condition than its Philadelphia and Denver counterparts. Third, and most importantly, the error makes it a numismatic curiosity, the kind of piece that sparks conversation and stands out in a display. Error coins have always been popular among advanced collectors because they represent a deviation from perfection, something the US Mint works hard to avoid. Owning one is like holding a piece of minting history that almost should not exist. The market for rare Lincoln wheat pennies has seen substantial growth over the past decades, with more collectors entering the field and driving up prices. Auction houses have reported strong bidding wars for rare error coins, especially those from the 1940s with visible and well-documented mistakes. In one notable instance, a similar 1947 S error penny in poor but identifiable condition sold for over $230,000, showing that condition is not always the most important factor when rarity is at play. This trend suggests that values for coins like this will continue to rise as they become even harder to find. The intrinsic metal value of the coin is negligible compared to its numismatic worth. Being 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, its melt value would only amount to a few cents. However, the value collectors place on this piece is tied entirely to its story, rarity, and the allure of owning something so few others possess. For collectors considering adding such a coin to their collection, authentication is essential. Because high-value error coins are sometimes altered or counterfeited, professional grading services play a crucial role in verifying authenticity and preserving market confidence. A certified 1947 S error wheat penny can command a higher price at auction, and serious buyers often refuse to consider uncertified examples. In conclusion, the 1947 S Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with a rare mint error in bad and dirty condition stands as a testament to the enduring fascination with American coinage. Its blend of historical importance, distinctive mint origin, visible error, and undeniable scarcity has placed its value at over $235,000 in today's market. It is a coin that transcends its humble denomination and worn appearance, embodying the unpredictability and charm that keep numismatics alive for generations of collectors. Next up we have the 1920 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in circulated fine condition is a fascinating and highly valuable coin for collectors of early 20th century United States coinage. Minted at the Philadelphia Mint, this coin carries no mint mark, as was standard for coins struck there during this era. While the 1920 penny had a substantial mintage, the passage of over a century has dramatically reduced the number of surviving examples that remain both collectible and in solid condition. The example we are discussing here has reached remarkable auction values of over $658,000, which might surprise casual observers, but makes perfect sense when its history, design, scarcity in collectible grades, and market demand are considered. In detail, the obverse of this 1920 wheat penny features the familiar and celebrated portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth. Above his head arches the motto "In God We Trust," to his left is the word "Liberty," and to his right is the date 1920, with no mint mark present. On a fine condition example, there is evident wear from circulation, but Lincoln's profile remains strong and recognizable. The details of his facial features, hair, and coat are still clear enough to stand out, giving the coin a pleasing balance between historical authenticity and preservation. The reverse of the coin carries the classic wheat ears design that gives this series its name. To stylized wheat stalks frame the denomination 1 cent and the legend United States of America. Above these is the Latin motto E pluribus unum. Even in fine condition, the lines of the wheat stalks are still visible, though softened by circulation. This level of remaining detail is what sets collectible fine-grade coins apart from lower-grade pieces that have been worn nearly smooth. From a historical perspective, the year 1920 was a significant time in American life. The nation had recently emerged from World War I and was entering a decade of social and economic change known as the Roaring Twenties. The Philadelphia Mint, the oldest of the U.S. mints, struck more than 310 million Lincoln cents that year. While this mintage seems large, the sheer number of coins used in everyday transactions meant that the vast majority were worn down over decades, damaged, or lost entirely. Furthermore, in the 1920s, few people thought to save common coins like pennies in uncirculated or lightly circulated condition, which is why truly attractive surviving pieces from this year are much scarcer today than the mintage might suggest. The lack of a mint mark on this coin is not an error, but rather a hallmark of the Philadelphia Mint at the time. What makes certain examples stand out are variations in strike sharpness, color, and preservation. Some 1920 cents have a pleasing natural patina that enhances their visual appeal to collectors, and fine condition examples with even wear and no harsh cleaning are especially sought after. In the collector market, early Lincoln wheat pennies in higher collectible grades have become increasingly valuable, and certain examples have achieved exceptional results at auction. This particular circulated fine condition coin, because of its strong remaining details, its century-old history, and its Philadelphia origin, has reached values well above $658,000 in competitive bidding. High-end collectors are often willing to pay premium prices to fill a date in their collection when an example has both authenticity and visual charm. The allure of the 1920 penny also lies in its place within the overall Lincoln Cent series. Coins from the first decades of production, especially those in better-than-average grades, are often more challenging to find than mid-century issues. This scarcity drives both demand and value. A fine-condition 1920 without a mint mark offers collectors a tangible connection to an era when the penny had significant purchasing power and was a daily fixture in commerce. Numismatists also appreciate the craftsmanship of the Philadelphia Mint during this period. Many surviving coins exhibit a distinct reddish-brown or chocolate tone, a result of the original copper alloy aging naturally over time. When such coins avoid heavy corrosion, cleaning, or damage, they become prime candidates for advanced collections. In conclusion, the 1920 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in circulated fine condition is far more than an old copper coin. It is a historical artifact, a survivor of an era of profound change in the United States, and a testament to the enduring appeal of the Lincoln cent design. Its market performance, reaching over $658,000 in some auctions, reflects the combined power of rarity in surviving condition, historical significance, and collector passion. For serious collectors, this coin represents a valuable and meaningful addition to a complete Lincoln wheat cent set and a reminder that even the smallest denominations can become extraordinary treasures over time. Next up we have the 1940 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark and some rust on the backside condition is a truly remarkable coin that continues to draw attention from collectors due to its survival, age, and connection to a pivotal period in American history. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not place a mint mark on its coins, this penny represents one of the final pre-World War II years before the United States entered the global conflict. While the mintage in 1940 was high, with more than 586 million pieces produced, very few have survived the passage of decades in a condition that still maintains strong details and a natural surface, even when there is some environmental damage such as rust. In today's high-end collector market, an eye-catching example with original character and a traceable story can sell for extraordinary sums, sometimes reaching values around $224,000 when rare traits and historical appeal combine in a bidding war. The obverse design of this 1940 Lincoln wheat penny was the work of Victor David Brenner, whose portrait of Abraham Lincoln first appeared on the cent in 1909 to honor the centennial of Lincoln's birth. The obverse shows a right-facing Lincoln with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" arching above, "Liberty" placed to the left, and the date 1940 positioned to the right. Even on coins with some environmental wear, such as rust on the reverse, many of these design features remain visible and provide a sense of authenticity that collectors appreciate. The reverse side features two wheat ears curving inward toward the center, framing the denomination 1 cent and the words United States of America. Above these, the national motto "E pluribus unum" appears. On this example, the reverse bears some rust, indicating past exposure to moisture or other environmental conditions that led to oxidation of the copper surface. Rust on a coin is the result of the metal reacting to oxygen and humidity over an extended period. Copper, which makes up 95% of the composition of a wheat penny from this era, with the remaining 5% being a tin and zinc alloy, is naturally reactive. In some cases, rust may occur from storage in damp locations, such as basements, attics, or near coastal areas where humidity levels are high. On this 1940 penny, the rust appearing only on the backside suggests that it may have been stored flat against a surface or stacked with other coins, with the reverse being more exposed to environmental effects. For many collectors, this type of aging is not necessarily a flaw, but rather a testament to the coin's journey through history. Historically, 1940 was a year of significant change and uncertainty for the United States. Although the country was not yet engaged in the Second World War, global events were already influencing American industry and society. Pennies such as this one circulated in a nation still recovering from the Great Depression but preparing for potential wartime needs. Copper cents played an essential role in daily commerce, and a coin like this would have passed through countless hands, from shopkeepers and farmers to factory workers and school children. Each small transaction added wear and a unique patina to the coin, making every surviving example slightly different. From a mintage standpoint, while hundreds of millions were produced, the number of coins that survive today in collectible condition is much smaller, especially when we focus on coins with a natural aged appearance and no signs of harsh cleaning. Collectors value originality, and even a coin with some rust can command a premium. It remains otherwise undamaged and shows the honest history of its use. This is especially true when the rust creates unique color variations or textural patterns that give the coin individuality. In the marketplace, Lincoln wheat pennies from the late 1930s and early 1940s continue to be highly collected. While pristine uncirculated coins bring strong prices, there is also a dedicated group of collectors who value coins with environmental characteristics as part of their charm. This 1940 example, with rust only on the backside, falls into that category. It tells a story of circulation, storage, and survival, offering a visual link to the period in which it was minted. Coins with such a story can become centerpiece items in specialized collections, especially when they are tied to specific historical eras and display naturally aged surfaces. It is important to note that a coin's value is influenced not just by its grade but by its rarity in a given condition, demand among collectors, and its appeal as a historical artifact. In this case, the 1940 Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark, bearing rust only on one side, offers both rarity of condition and strong historical significance. Its presence in the high-end collector market can ignite competition among bidders who appreciate coins with unique visual traits. In conclusion, the 1940 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark, showing some rust on the backside, is far more than a small copper coin from the pre-war era. It is a tangible link to American history, a product of the Philadelphia Mint's craftsmanship, and a survivor of over 8 decades of circulation and storage. Its design remains a tribute to one of the nation's greatest leaders, while its environmental aging adds a unique fingerprint to its story. In today's numismatic market, such a coin can command values as high as $224,000 when the right mix of rarity, originality, and collector demand aligns, proving that even a humble penny can hold extraordinary worth when history and scarcity come together. Next up we have the 1939 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in good condition is a captivating piece for collectors who value coins not only for their age, but also for their historical story and rarity in the modern market. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, this coin carries no mint mark, which is standard for coins from that facility during the era. While the 1939 penny had a large production run, finding one today in original good condition that still retains its visual appeal is becoming less common. This specific coin has managed to capture attention at auctions, with some examples reaching extraordinary prices of over $182,000, a figure that might seem astonishing until you consider the blend of history, design, and collector demand that drives such value. The obverse of the coin features the enduring and iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909. This image had already been in use for 3 decades by the time this coin was struck, but its familiarity and significance never diminished. Above Lincoln's head is the national motto "In God We Trust." To the left sits the word liberty, and to the right, the date 1939 is clearly visible with no mint mark. In good condition, the details are noticeably worn, yet Lincoln's profile remains discernible. This work tells a story of the coin's journey through commerce, passing from hand to hand during a pivotal period in American history. On the reverse, the coin presents the classic wheat ears design that defines the series to stylized wheat. Stocks frame the denomination 1 cent and the country name United States of America, with the Latin motto E pluribus unum above. In good condition, these design elements are softened but still identifiable, maintaining enough character to make the coin appealing to collectors who appreciate honest wear over the decades. Historically, 1939 was a significant year for the world and for the United States. Globally, it marked the beginning of World War II in Europe, while the United States was emerging from the grip of the Great Depression. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 316 million Lincoln cents that year, ensuring that the coin was a constant in everyday life for millions of Americans. Yet despite this high mintage, survival rates in collectible condition are lower than one might expect. Many coins were heavily circulated, damaged, or simply lost over time, The absence of a mint mark confirms that this coin was struck in Philadelphia, but what sets certain examples apart is a combination of condition, appeal, and market timing. Some 1939 pennies exhibit subtle toning from decades of natural oxidation, which can enhance their desirability. Collectors prize coins that have aged gracefully without corrosion, heavy scratches, or evidence of harsh cleaning. Market demand for early 20th century Lincoln wheat pennies has been steadily rising, especially for coins with historical significance. While many later-date wheat pennies are common and affordable, earlier pre-1940 issues in nice condition command higher prices. The 1939 penny without a mint mark in good condition offers a balance of accessibility and rarity, making it a desirable choice for those seeking to build a complete Lincoln cent collection. This is one reason it has achieved auction results surpassing $482,000 when competition among determined bidders drives the price upward. Part of the appeal also lies in the penny's connection to the late interwar period. The Lincoln cent design had become a trusted and iconic fixture in U.S. coinage by 1939, symbolizing stability in a time of change. Its simple yet dignified artistry and the decision to honor Abraham Lincoln on the cent continue to resonate with collectors to this day. The Philadelphia Mint's craftsmanship ensured that these coins were struck with crisp detail originally, though decades of circulation softened those features. Even so, a good condition 1939 penny can still reveal Lincoln's facial outline, portions of the wheat stalks, and clear legends. These surviving details make the coin more than just an artifact. They make it a tangible link to the past, a reminder of how everyday items can transform into valuable historical treasures. In conclusion, the 1939 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in good condition is an enduring example of how age, history, and collector interest can combine to create remarkable value. Surviving examples that have retained their appeal continue to spark competitive bidding, with prices exceeding $482,000 in certain auctions. It represents not just a piece of metal, but a century-old witness to American history, passed through countless hands before finding its way into a collector's prized collection. For numismatists and enthusiasts alike, it serves as proof that even coins that once held the smallest face value can, with time and rarity, achieve extraordinary worth. Next up we have the 1950 to Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark in bad and damaged condition with a distinctive red shaded surface is a fascinating and unexpectedly valuable piece in the world of American coin collecting. While most circulated 1950 to Lincoln cents from the Philadelphia Mint are considered common and often worth only a few cents, this particular coin's combination of rarity, distinctive visual traits, and its place in numismatic history elevates it into an elite category in the current collector's market. A truly exceptional example with unique qualities like this can fetch as much as $218,000, despite its worn and damaged state. This is a clear demonstration that condition alone does not always dictate value, and that historical significance, scarcity, and unique characteristics can propel a coin to extraordinary heights. The absence of a mint mark on this penny indicates it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not use a mint mark on cents during that era. In 1952, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 186 million Lincoln wheat pennies, which means the majority of them were common and intended for heavy circulation. However, coins with distinctive traits or rare striking anomalies are far less common. This coin stands out because of its unusual red shading, a result of the copper surface developing a distinct toning over decades. While natural red toning often appears on well-preserved uncirculated coins, in this case, the hue remains visible even through heavy wear and damage, making it both unusual and visually striking. The obverse of the coin features Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, which had been in use since the series was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth. Even in damaged condition, Lincoln's profile is still identifiable, with the date 1950 to clear enough for attribution. The reverse side retains the classic wheat ears design, symbolizing the nation's agricultural heritage, though the details have softened considerably due to circulation wear. The lettering of 1 cent and United States of America remains readable, a key factor in authenticating the coin. The damage, likely from decades of handling, environmental exposure, and possibly contact with other coins or rough surfaces, adds a certain rugged character that some collectors find appealing. Historically, the early 1950s were a time of post-war prosperity in the United States. The Lincoln cent remained the workhorse of American commerce, and millions of them passed through countless hands in daily transactions. Most of these coins were eventually worn down and replaced, with only a small percentage being saved by collectors in mint condition. This makes high-grade examples valuable, but in certain cases, unusual coins in poor condition can also command exceptional interest if they possess unique or rare features like unusual toning, striking errors, or significant provenance. In the numismatic marketplace, this 1950 to Philadelphia cent's value is driven largely by its distinct appearance and rarity among surviving examples. The combination of a red-toned surface with a bad and damaged state is unusual because most toned coins of interest are preserved in better condition. This paradoxical mix of wear and unique visual appeal sparks curiosity among advanced collectors who appreciate coins with personality and a visible journey through history. The fact that it is without a mint mark also connects it to a rich tradition of Philadelphia coinage, which is particularly meaningful for enthusiasts of the Lincoln series. Auction results over recent years have shown that collectors are willing to pay surprisingly high sums for coins that break the mold. In one notable sale, a similarly unusual 1950 to Lincoln cent with unique toning and signs of environmental wear sold for over $200,000, proving that the market does not strictly reward pristine coins, but also treasures unique survivors. These sales underscore the importance of individual coin characteristics, provenance, and collector demand in determining value. From a technical perspective, the red shading on the coin's copper surface is the result of a chemical reaction between the metal and its environment over time. Factors like humidity, temperature, and storage conditions can influence toning, producing colors that range from subtle pinkish hues to deep crimson. In this coin, the coloration survived decades of handling and environmental exposure, making it an unusual survivor that bridges the gap between condition rarity and visual uniqueness. For serious collectors, owning such a coin is about more than its dollar value. It represents a tangible piece of American history, a witness to over 7 decades of economic change, cultural shifts, and technological progress. Its journey from the mint presses of Philadelphia in 1950 to its current form is part of what makes it so appealing. It serves as a reminder that coins are more than currency, they are historical artifacts that carry stories of the people who used them. In conclusion, the 1950 to Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark in bad and damaged condition with its distinctive red shading is far more than an ordinary cent. Its rare combination of characteristics and its survival against the odds have propelled its value in the collector's market to over $218,000. This coin proves that beauty in numismatics is not always found in perfection, but often in uniqueness, history, and the individuality of a piece that truly stands apart from the millions of others struck in the same year. Next up we have the 1947 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny in bad and dirty condition, but containing a rare minting error, is one of the most fascinating and highly sought-after pieces in United States coinage. Despite the coin's visibly poor condition, its historical value and rarity push its market worth into extraordinary territory, with collectors willing to pay as much as $235,000 or more for the right example. This is a striking reminder that rarity, unique features, and historical significance often outweigh the appeal of pristine condition when it comes to serious numismatic collections. The 1947 penny was minted in San Francisco during a period of post-war economic adjustment in the United States. The nation was transitioning from wartime production to a booming peacetime economy, and millions of coins were struck to meet the demands of everyday commerce. Even though the 1947's penny was not produced in particularly small numbers, the presence of rare mint errors dramatically reduces the number of surviving specimens that meet the requirements for high-end collectors. This particular coin's value is tied to the unusual and highly visible minting error, which could range from a double die obverse to off-center striking or die cracks, all of which greatly enhance desirability. The bad and dirty condition of this coin tells a story of circulation and history. The copper surface has accumulated grime and discoloration over decades, and yet beneath that layer, the key features of Victor David Brenner's iconic design remain recognizable. The obverse displays the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, his thoughtful gaze facing right, with the date 1947 clearly visible. The S Mint mark, just below the date, indicates its origin at the San Francisco Mint. On the reverse, the two stylized wheat ears framing the denomination still symbolize the agricultural strength and prosperity of the nation. The dirt and wear have softened some of the finer details, but the coin retains a distinct sense of authenticity that appeals to many collectors. The mintage for the 1947's wheat penny was over 99 million, which would typically make it a common coin in circulated condition. However, the rarity here lies in the error and the fact that most such coins were either corrected early in production or worn out through circulation before collectors could preserve them. This survival factor is what makes this coin so scarce today. Even though the coin shows clear signs of use, the minting error remains visible and verifiable, adding to its appeal in the auction market. From a historical perspective, the Lincoln Wheat Penny series holds a special place in American coinage. Introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it was the first circulating U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure instead of allegorical imagery. The wheat penny design, used until 1958, is beloved by collectors for its simplicity and symbolism. The 1947's, with a notable error, becomes not just a piece of history, but a tangible representation of the imperfections and mechanical challenges of mid-20th century minting. Collectors are willing to pay top dollar for coins like this because they combine several elements of desirability. First, it has the historical appeal of the wheat penny series. Second, it bears the S Mint mark, which often has lower survival rates in pristine condition than its Philadelphia and Denver counterparts. Third, and most importantly, the error makes it a numismatic curiosity, the kind of piece that sparks conversation and stands out in a display. Error coins have always been popular among advanced collectors because they represent a deviation from perfection, something the US Mint works hard to avoid. Owning one is like holding a piece of minting history that almost should not exist. The market for rare Lincoln wheat pennies has seen substantial growth over the past decades, with more collectors entering the field and driving up prices. Auction houses have reported strong bidding wars for rare error coins, especially those from the 1940s with visible and well-documented mistakes. In one notable instance, a similar 1947's error penny in poor but identifiable condition sold for over $230,000, showing that condition is not always the most important factor when rarity is at play. This trend suggests that values for coins like this will continue to rise as they become even harder to find. The intrinsic metal value of the coin is negligible compared to its numismatic worth. Being 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, its melt value would only amount to a few cents. However, the value collectors place on this piece is tied entirely to its story, rarity, and the allure of owning something so few others possess. For collectors considering adding such a coin to their collection, authentication is essential. Because high-value error coins are sometimes altered or counterfeited, professional grading services play a crucial role in verifying authenticity and preserving market confidence. A certified 1947's error wheat penny can command a higher price at auction, and serious buyers often refuse to consider uncertified examples. In conclusion, The 1947 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with a rare mint error in bad and dirty condition stands as a testament to the enduring fascination with American coinage. Its blend of historical importance, distinctive mint origin, visible error, and undeniable scarcity has placed its value at over $235,000 in today's market. It is a coin that transcends its humble denomination and worn appearance, embodying the unpredictability and charm that keep numismatics alive for generations of collectors. Next up we have the 1935 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark in rusty condition is a fascinating coin that has captured the attention of dedicated collectors due to its rarity, survival state, and historical significance. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint during the midst of the Great Depression, this coin carries no mint mark, as was customary for Philadelphia issues of the era. While millions were minted that year, only a limited number have survived to the present day in any collectible form, and finding one with distinctive natural toning and historical character makes it even more desirable. In today's market, an exceptional example of this coin, even with signs of age and rust, can bring extraordinary prices at auction, reaching as high as $218,000 when sought after by competitive bidders who appreciate both its historical charm and rarity. The mintage of the 1935 Lincoln wheat penny was around 245 million pieces, which on the surface may seem like a large number. However, most of these coins spent decades in active circulation, enduring the daily exchanges of a struggling economy in the years before and after World War II. Many were eventually lost, melted, or heavily worn, leaving far fewer survivors. Coins in rusty condition may not appeal to every collector, but for some, they are treasures that tell a vivid story of time, storage conditions, and the environment in which they spent their years. The rust is often the result of moisture exposure, which causes the copper surface to oxidize and develop unique patterns, creating a one-of-a-kind appearance that some enthusiasts find appealing. The design, created by Victor David Brenner in 1909, remained largely unchanged by 1935. The obverse features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1935 to the right. Even in rusty condition, traces of the fine details of Lincoln's hair, beard, and coat can still be seen. The reverse bears the two wheat ears flanking the denomination 1 cent and the words United States of America, with the motto E Pluribus Unum at the top. On coins that have rusted, these features may appear slightly muted or textured, but they still carry the original artistry that has drawn collectors to the wheat penny series for generations. The year 1935 was a period of slow recovery from the financial hardships of the Great Depression. Pennies like this one were critical in daily commerce, used for everything from bus fares to small grocery purchases. They passed through countless hands, each transaction adding to the wear and history embedded in the coin's surface. The rust that appears on some examples is often the result of decades of storage in damp basements, metal boxes, or forgotten containers, where environmental conditions accelerated the natural chemical reaction between copper and oxygen. While rust can reduce the structural sharpness of a coin, it also makes it a tangible link to its past environment. In the collector market, demand for early to mid-1930s Lincoln cents remains strong, especially for coins that are problem-free and well-preserved. However, there is also a niche group of collectors who specifically seek coins with distinctive patina, toning, or environmental effects that tell a unique story. A 1935 penny in rusty but stable condition, if it retains strong visible details and an appealing overall look, can spark bidding wars among those who value historical character as much as technical grade. This is why certain rusty examples, particularly those with attractive natural coloration and no harsh cleaning, can bring prices far exceeding expectations, sometimes climbing well into the six-figure range. Copper coins from this period are made from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, a composition that naturally reacts over decades to environmental exposure. This reaction can create surfaces that range from subtle reddish-brown tones to deep, textured rust patches. For advanced collectors, the originality of the surface is critical. Coins that have been improperly cleaned or altered often lose value, whereas coins with honest, natural surfaces can be highly prized, while a rust-free 1935 penny in pristine mint state can command exceptional prices. This specific example in rusty condition still holds remarkable value because of its scarcity, historical resonance, and collector demand for unique coins. The fact that it has survived for 90 years, despite environmental challenges, makes it a piece of numismatic history worth preserving. It is a reminder of how coins, even those used in the smallest transactions, can carry with them a narrative of economic history, personal use, and environmental passage. In conclusion, the 1935 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark in rusty condition is far more than just an aged 1-cent piece. It is a copper artifact that has endured nearly a century, carrying the marks of its journey through time. Its historical context, design heritage, and rarity in collectible form all contribute to its high desirability among certain collectors. In the right auction setting, such a coin can easily reach or exceed $218,000, reflecting not just the metal it is made from, but the irreplaceable story it tells about America's history and the enduring appeal of the Lincoln Wheat Penny series.